Anyone who's watched this channel over the years knows nothing gets my testes all a-tingle like Battletech. My earliest videos featured frequent references to the franchise, and my 2015 introductory video, Welcome to Battletech, served as the primer for many thousands of future fans, particularly as the troglodytic dregs of Reddit started sapping the life out of the Warhammer hobby several years back, and people were on the prowl for alternatives. I'm also a published fantasy noir author who was the victim of a failed cancellation attempt at the hands of the woke mob, just a year and change ago. Oh, too bad, so sad. Better luck next time, Peon Trotsky. I state all this not to brag, but to contextualize the following remarks. I have weathered the wretched as well as the wonderful of the Battletech franchise, witnessed the fall of FASA and the cratering of the MechWarrior Clicks game, and I'm here to tell you I have never been more disappointed in the Battletech franchise as I am at this precise moment with the recent actions of Catalyst Game Labs, the current licensees. If you watched my Gatekeeping the Gatekeepers video, you'll already be familiar with some of the players and prologue to this tribe. Blaine Lee Pardo, one of the foremost names in writing Battletech lore, not just in the novels, but in source books, hell, even to the point of sculpting some of the most iconic miniatures in the franchise, has been associated with this series since almost its inception, and until 24 hours ago, he still very much fucking was. The current era of Battletech, known as Ill Clan era, was launched by 3 Blaine Lee Pardo short stories, followed by a novel, Hour of the Wolf, all of which I, of course, fucking own. But Blaine Lee Pardo also has the undulating, pendulous balls to vote the same way as millions of Americans. And so yesterday, he was fired without explanation. No violation of any contract he'd ever signed was identified. No direct action that required an executive response. The social justice jackdaws swooped in and penned a few emails to the publishers of Battletech at Tops and Fanatics, the people above Catalyst Game Labs. A 4-decade career in writing came crashing down in an instant, and one of the foremost voices in Battletech fiction was silenced. How to put this, folks? Oh yes, fuck this! Pardo's politics never once colored his creative output for FASA or Catalyst, or interfered with his deadlines of any description, which is more than you can say for some of the leftists employed by the self-same company, might I add. Yet somehow he was on the short list of the short bus over on Reddit. I won't give them free publicity by naming that community, as they're a piteously minuscule coven of masturbatory Marxism, but like many of their ideological ancestors, they're remarkably effective at one thing: cultivating the illusion that they are legion, when in actuality it's just one mentally ill Menshevik with a gaggle of goddamn trolls flying his wing. And folks, if you appreciate Blaine Pardo's work as I do, it's long past time for us to fly on his. Because, folks, the great whites are circling, and it's clear as crystal their next target is Battletech. This is about much more than one writer. The whiny-ass wokesters project at mock speed. They will claim that for us to complain about commie incursions into our hobby, such as this one, is to be a snowflake. A word they inevitably wield like an 8-year-old with a daisy air rifle, might I add, which, like everything else out of their leering mouths, is utter festering fucking horseshit. You went on the offensive, asshole. Your action required that you be bitching and complaining to anyone who would listen to begin with, and the evidence of that fact is that you successfully got a man fucking fired. Return fire is a defensive and retaliatory act. You want actual offensive action, motherfucker. Oh, sweetheart, I'm more than happy to oblige. See, we already know this action's true author, so-called Faith McCloskey, who a private investigator hired by Blaine Pardo after he received death threats from them revealed is, in reality, a 40-year-old male mental cripple with a criminal record. It's therefore more than understandable that an active restraining order was immediately obtained by Blaine Lee Pardo against this shrieking nutjob, and Catalyst sadly made this situation infinitely worse by initially capitulating to their complaints about Pardo and even allowing them to publish an awful short story in the pages of the Battletech pulp magazine called Shrapnel. And if you don't think that emboldened this cavernous asshole, you haven't been paying attention in the last 24 hours. Seems faith. Fired a fucking email to Fanatics, who were the publisher of Catalyst Battletech novels, featuring their fictitious fucking version of events. And it was Fanatics and or Tops who prevailed upon Catalyst to terminate Pardo. Alright, asshole! 2 can play at that game. Attached below is the contact information for Fanatics. I don't want you to harass them. I'm not. Don't shit-hammer them. Don't insult them. If you're a fan of Battletech, as I am, all I want you to do is let them know that your money spends too, because mine certainly won't be, so long as Fanatics, Tops, and Catalyst are allowing cancel culture to guide company policy. I've been a paying Battletech fan for damn near 2 decades, and my wallet is shut to you until this is redressed. It's not a boycott on account of, I don't care if you continue to buy their shit or not. It's a matter of not funding people who are telling you they hate your goddamn guts. So no, this is not cancel culture, because we're not out baying for your blood. We don't want anyone fired. Quite the opposite. We want this fucking fixed so we can all go back to the stompy robot war crimes. And if anyone at all sane is left at Catalyst, I want you all to please hear me. You're not extricating yourselves from any problem by being this outwardly obsequious to the SJW mob. You're making another problem permanent. Because the moment you cave to these commies, understand you will never have a creative hand in your own company ever again. After you indulge this impulse to play to these pinko pricks, nothing you undertake can be done without the implicit by your leave of ideological armchair activists. You will eternally tread in fear of the Twitter lynch mob, and you will have no one at all to blame for it but yourselves. For Christ's sake, these are the same people who had a problem with fucking texts of the Black Pants Legion, who they tried and failed to fucking cancel ages ago, the hatred for which he did not deserve in the slightest. If they had the knives out for like the nicest guy in the Battletech community, who the fuck do you think you're fooling, harboring an earnest belief that you will be spared should they construe you as an obstacle to their power? That is no way to run a company, particularly not one that is nowhere near as big as Games Workshop and thus lacks the manufacturing and fucking player base to weather the financial consequences of an ill-conceived decision such as this. This is full-on commercial suicide. I mean, look at the damn dog pile you started, unwittingly or otherwise. I mean, I've never reached full respect to disrespect deficit in a shorter span of time with a single tweet than watching George Ledoux, a voice-acting legend in the Battletech community and the voice of Duncan Fisher in MechWarrior 4, mouthing wholehearted agreement with this authoritarian cancel culture decision. I wonder, George, if you'd feel the same way if the pitchforks and torches were aimed in, say, your direction, Slick, and you cannot possibly be stupid or naive enough to not recognize that one day if you present the merest obstacle between these Bolsheviks and whatever virtue they think they might accrue from canceling you, that they won't absolutely do so. Winston Churchill called appeasement an attempt to feed the crocodile in the hopes that it will devour you last. And between Pardo and the recent failed fucking attempt to bully Piranha into cucking out that alligator is looking mighty fucking peckish, folks. Stand the fuck up. Assert yourselves. Hit them with their own tactics, because there's a fuck of a lot more of us than there is of them, and we have an actual platform. Look, I don't want Battletech to be a right-wing hobby any more than I want it to be a left-wing hobby. We want it to be exactly what it's always been, an apolitical place to enjoy games and goddamn stories about giant stompy robots with people of all races, genders, and political persuasions, provided you ain't calling for anyone's fucking job, you jagoff. We are the players, not Ukraine flag von bunch of numbers who registered 15 minutes ago on Twitter. We were here when the people who bought those bot accounts were still busy shelling the shit out of Warhammer, and frankly, we'll be here long after the locusts have moved on to the next item on their agenda. When I said hashtag Battletech belongs to everyone, that meant the only person not welcome in the Battletech community was the one who plays arbiter of the community and begins kicking out anyone they hallucinate to be a Nazi from the community. The people complaining about Pardo are a fraction of a fucking fraction of a fucking fraction of any player base, let alone Battletech. How do we know? Because we caught them paying for thousands of bots to skew 2 separate polls on Renegade HPG's Twitter account about this issue in real time on Twitter. They were getting BTFO'd, and then suddenly 3,000 pro-firing votes emerge in under 3 minutes on a tweet from an account with only a few thousand followers that was shared less than 30 fucking times. They think your IQ doubles as your shoe size, but they'll only be right if you let them get away with it. I'm Razorfist. Battletech belongs to everyone, people I disagree politically with included. No guts, no goddamn galaxy.